What's the difference between teasing and a joke and a dig that landed in a way that was intended or not unintended? So I have a very, I have a biting sense of humor, very sarcastic. My dad and my family, my home environment was very sarcastic. So we used sarcasm and humor, and my daughters use sarcasm and humor much more gently now than we did probably when they were preteen teens. I think we were very, very much more sarcastic in our humor. I think it's probably softened over the years, and there's a whole bunch of reasons why, and we've talked about some of those reasons in other episodes. But this concept of I made a joke that maybe crossed the line and landed different from you versus how you heard it. So tell me, what's your perspective on this? Because I was just joking. It's apparently not a defense.
Yeah. Yeah, that line is really hard for a lot of people. It has a lot to do with timing, the tone of your voice. Like that phrase, oh, too soon? Yeah, sometimes it is too soon for sarcasm, for a joke about something that maybe is really fresh.
Or it's too personal and it's too true, because sometimes in my mind, the funniest jokes, they have a seed of truth in them. And if that truth hits a little too hard to a point of something you're sensitive about or embarrassed about or defensive of, what I think is just a jab, it's not necessarily even too soon. It's just in an area that's too sensitive. Is that another way of saying it?
Right. And I was thinking that the longer your relationship is, there's all that history behind it.
Yeah, but it doesn't negate the fact that what I said was funny. You just didn't take it. You just didn't take it as
And you know what?
funny.
In another time or place or context, would have laughed my ass off. But at certain times, it's not.
See, I think funny is funny whenever funny is
It's
there.
not. And you know what? As part of the general, you know what? We can say it doesn't happen, but our emotions cycle throughout the month.
No.
Exactly. And what you might say at this point in that month might go over just fine. Another point in that month, it might be, how dare you? Right?
So again, a joke is funny regardless of what is delivered. It's just how is it received is maybe not funny. So here's a question for you. If I didn't mean it disrespectfully, but it made her feel disrespected, whose reality wins? Was my joke funny, or was her feelings of disrespect appropriate?
I'm going with, is that rhetorical? Because I can be quiet if you want it to be rhetorical.
I mean, it is rhetorical, but let's discuss. Tell us in the comments. Tell me.
I think the person feeling the feeling, not just disrespect.
Of course you feel that.
It could be anything. Regardless of whether you meant it, that is how they perceived it. And that's valid too.
Oh my gosh. So not only are we having a relational discussion here, we're having a philosophical disagreement.
Yes.
Because your offense is your response to my words. That's your issue. That's not my issue. My intent behind the words matters to me. How they landed with you is how they landed with you. Those are two different things. I shouldn't have to apologize for everything that offends somebody, because offense is a personal response.
It is.
To words. Now, in a relationship, you have to find the right balance of those things. And again, this is why it's a male perspective and a female perspective, or in our case, a Michael perspective and a Melissa perspective on this. And I hope you're seeing that there's a couple of things here that I want to point out. Yes, we do disagree on this, and that's okay. Second, since we are in a very healthy relationship, I understand when those words land inappropriately, and I do actually apologize correctly and not quite in a meaningful way, because yes, for you and me, I realize that when I say something that hits wrong, hits unintendedly, yeah, that wasn't my intent, and I fixed that. The general statement of how you respond to what I say for other people, that's where the contentious point is. But in our relationship, I try to fix it when I mess it up.
Yeah, it is a good point, because I am telling my clients quite often, you are not responsible for however people feel, but sometimes maybe you are. If you have an inkling before you said the thing, because of historical context or anything else.
In a relationship, you absolutely are.
Yes.